Hello everyone, welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy for Civil Services. Let us discuss today the Hindu newspaper of Delhi edition. Along with that, as we are following last 2 days, that we are going to discuss about the important topic from the Press Information Bureau, All India Radio, and also learning new words to strengthen your vocabulary. Let us move to the first topic of the day, which is 9 opposition parties to boycott Parliament inauguration by Prime Minister. So this topic is very important for us because the new parliament was constructed by the government which led by Narendra Modi. So what exactly the information we need to gather here, because this is about Central Vista redevelopment project. So you know what, the government at the center come up with a new parliament, and they are going to do the inauguration, but opposition parties are boycotting. So, sidelining the president not only a grave insult but also a direct assault on democracy, which was said by, YSR Congress Biju Janata Dal to attend May 28th event. So, this article it is about just information regarding that how the opposition parties are boycotting the new inauguration, of the parliament. But here, the add-on information that we need to know under the topic name called Central Vista Redevelopment Project. Central Vista Redevelopment Project. Right. So the Union Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, proposed this Central Vista redevelopment project in the year of 2019. The project is about to construct a triangular parliament next to the existing one. So constructing common central secretariat. Okay, for all the ministries, a common secretariat has to be constructed. Revamping of the 3 kilometer long Rajpath from Rashtrapati Bhavan to India Gate, North and South Block to be repurposed as a museums. Okay, so these are all the major objective of this Central Vista redevelopment project. Central Vista means currently of New Delhi houses Rashtrapati Bhavan, Parliament House, North and South Block, India Gate, and National Archives, among all other important buildings in the Parliament, nearby Parliament. If you want to know the background, in the year of 1911, King George V made an announcement at Delhi Darbar, which is known as a Grand Assembly, to shift the capital of India from Calcutta to Delhi. Remember, the British India shifted the capital from Calcutta to Delhi in the year of 1911, which was announced by King George V. So, during that time period, the task of constructing a new city of Delhi was given to Edwin Lutyens, known for his strong adherence to the European classicism, classic. Okay, Herbert Baker, a prominent architecture from South Africa, and Herbert Baker is also architect of the Union buildings in the region of South Africa as well. So Lutyens and Baker were the responsible personalities as engineers to design and also construct the parliament which existed in India. Oh, Rashtrapati Bhavan was designed by Edwin Lutyens, and the Secretariat, which include all the North and South Block, was designed by Herbert Baker. So we were followed the design by the people who belong to British India. Right, so these are all the add-on information that you need to acquire. Moving towards the next article, it is related to new Parliament House scepter that symbolized transfer of power in 1947. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi will install the Singol, which is known as a scepter given by the British to India's first Prime Minister to represent the transfer of power in the year of 1947. In the new Parliament building, it is going to be installed. That is the news. What is mean by this Sengol? Sengol is very important fact and also historical element which comes under the Tamil history. The word Sengol is derived from the Tamil known as Semmai. Semmai means it is about the righteousness. Semmai, which is righteousness. Sengol came into existence after British Viceroy Lord Mountbatten asked Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru about the what would signify the transfer of power from British to India. So what he had a doubt, okay, fine, we are going to transfer the power from Britain to India. So what kind of significance can be followed? Then Nehru approached to see Rajagopalachari. He is the first India's last Governor General, commonly known as Rajaji. So Rajaji talked about the Tamil tradition. The Tamil tradition of highest priest used to handing over the Sengol, that is spectral, when handing over power to a new king, which was practiced mostly in the land of Tamil, which ruled during the time period of the Cholas. Even all other dynasties also used to have this Sengol. They used to give it to the next king as a transfer of power, which was idea and the tradition of Tamil people followed, which is given by Rajaji to Nehru. So based on that, you know, it was given to Adinam, the president of the Saivatis there, to Lord Mountbatten, and Lord Mountbatten given to Nehru on August 14th, and this is going to be installed in the new Parliament building. That is the news all about. Right. Moving towards the next article related to the Arab League, which comes under your editorial page. Let us have a look of the complete detail related to the particular topic, which is known as a Middle Kingdom dawns on India's west. Dawns on India's west. The 32nd Arab League Summit held in Jeddah. It was unique in multiple ways after 12 years. All 22 Arab states to get together again, with 17 of them represented at the head of state or government level. Right now, this Arab League, we need to understand what exactly the background is all about. After that, you can have a look of this article. What is the stake of India and what is the angle of the Arab League? Everything can be explained in this particular article in the newspaper. But we need to know about what is this Arab League, which is also popularly called as Arab States League, which is known as ALS. We can call it as League of Arab States. It is an intergovernmental pan-Arab organization. Remember, this is intergovernmental pan-Arab organization of all Arab states in the Middle East as well as the northern part of Africa. Northern part of Africa. It was formed in Cairo, Egypt, on 22nd March 1945, following the adoption of the Alexandria Protocol in 1944, as per which protocol? Alexandria Protocol. Based on that only this league was formed. Currently there are 22 members, which contains Algeria, Bahrain, Comoros, Djibouti, Egypt, Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Lebanon, Libya, Mauritania, Morocco, Oman, Palestine, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, Tunisia, the UAE, and Yemen. All the member countries were not important, but you just aware about how many countries are comes under that particular league. The objective of this particular league is about to strengthen the political, cultural, economical, and also social programs of its member countries, and also mediate the disputes among them between them and third parties. The signing of 13th April 1950 of an agreement to joint defense and economic cooperation also committed the signatories to coordination of military defense measures. Right. What is the significance of this Middle East North Africa for India? You know about, we'll take Middle East first. What exact significance that India is to have? India has enjoyed centuries of good relations with like Iran. You know about Iran is one of the important state comes under the Mesopotamian civilization that we do have had a lot of commerce and trade activities during the time of Indus Valley civilization as well. While smaller gas nation Qatar is one of the India's closest allies in the region. India shares goods and also very good relations with most of the countries in the Gulf region. The two most important reasons for relationship, remember, two most important relationship between these countries, one is oil and gas, and another one is about which activity? Trade activity. Two additional reasons are huge number of Indians who work in the Gulf countries. So on the remittance they send back to the home here. Then what about North Africa? Northern Africa like Morocco and Algeria. Remember, Morocco and Algeria are important because they always used to serve as a gateway to other parts of Africa, which is relevant for India as well. Because India is like preferring a lot of activities with Africa, so these two regions considered as a gateway. India set ambitious renewable energy targets. North Africa could provide an opportunity for India to meet its renewable energy goals. Right, and also the Suez Canal puts North Africa at the crossroads of global trade as well, with more than, remember, 2 lakh 2 lakh 20,000, okay, 2 lakh 20,000 ships transit in the year of 2022. Just imagine the canal is one of the world's most important maritime routes. So these are all the add-on information that you need to read and to know before going into that particular article, right? Moving towards the next important article of the day, which is related to the doctrine of the basic structure. It was there in the news page, which is related to the basic structure of the constitution. What exactly that article is stating about? Let us have a look. Independence of judiciary. Independence of judiciary is part of basic structure of the Indian constitution said by Supreme Court. So Supreme Court recently held that the independence of district judiciary is part of the basic structure of the constitution and judicial independence from the executive and the legislature, which requires the judiciary to have a say in matters of finances. So judiciary must possess the power to compel payment of money which is necessary to carry out its mandated responsibilities. So what exactly the article is about? They're talking about the basic structure, doctrine of the basic structure of the constitution. So just the context you got to know about what exactly the Supreme Court says about the independence of judiciary, but we need to understand the other part as well related to the doctrine of basic structure. It was propounded by the Indian judiciary on 24th April 1973. Okay, particularly in which case? Keshavananda Bharati case. It put a limitation on the amending powers of the parliament so that the basic structure of the constitution of a land cannot be amended in excise of its constituent power under the constitution itself. So this is about basic structure of the constitution, particularly strengthen the democracy. We are going to only focus on the independence of judiciary. It is one of the significance as well, so keep that factor in your mind. Because if we provide independence of the judiciary, it always strengthens our democracy. That is the first point. and by delineating the true separation of power where judiciary is independent of other two organs, that is executive and legislative. It also gives immense untold power to the Supreme Court and made it the most powerful court in the world as well. So this is one of the significance of strengthening democracy. For, for your reference, I'm just going to give you the history of the doctrine of basic structure. You can follow these stages one by one so that it is easy for you to understand. Go through Sankari Prasad judgment, 1951. That is the first stage related to the doctrine, basic structure. Then Golaknath versus States of Punjab, 1967. Then Keshwananda Bharati case, Keshwananda Bharati case versus State of Kerala, 1973. Then Indira Gandhi, fourth one is about Indira Gandhi versus Raj Narayan and Minerva Mills versus Union of India. These cases, four cases, very important for you to understand the doctrine of basic structure of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so go through this information. It will help you to understand in more easy way. Moving towards the next article, it is related to the GDP growth, which expected to exceed 7% estimates in financial year 2023, which was said by Reserve Bank of India Governor. You know about GDP is very important concept for the development of the nation. So India's GDP growth in 2020 to 23 may well surpass the 7% estimate, while retail inflation is likely to go below 4.7% mark this month, which was said by RBI governor. You just go through this article, let's read it once, but I want you guys to understand about what is meant by this GDP. GDP, it is our value added information that we are going to learn today. The GDP measures particularly related to the monetary measures of all final, remember this word, final goods and services. Those that are brought by the final user, produced, that was produced in a country, particularly in a given period, which means you can take the financial year. Okay, so the monetary measures of all final goods and services that produced in a country in a given period, which is known as GDP. Remember, this GDP concept is very important because we need to understand the growth rate. All the money Indians spend for their private consumptions, that is private final consumption expenditure, PFCE, private final consumption expenditure. All the money that government spend on, remember, government spend on current consumption such as salaries, which is known as GFCE, government final consumption expenditure. All the money spent towards the investment to boost the productive capacity of the economy. So this includes all the firms investing in the factories or the governments, building roads and bridges, everything, which is known as gross fixed capital expenditure. So the net effort of exports when foreigners, for example, what foreigners spent on our goods, and imports, what Indians spent on foreign goods, which is known as NX, net exports. Based on all these things only, the calculations, how they used to calculate the GDP, GDP which is equal to private consumption plus gross investment plus government investment plus government spending plus exports and imports. So GDP equal to all these addition, and finally they'll calculate. This is very important for you. Just remember this concept because it always helps you in terms of understanding what exactly the GDP is. Right. Moving towards the next article, which is related to the Global Alliance National Human Rights Commission. Okay, Gunry. Okay. For the second time in decade, the United Nations recognized the Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions deferred the accreditation of the NHRC India. The objections such as political interference in appointments involving the police in probes into human rights violations and poor cooperation with civil society. Okay, it is about recognizing the principles. Okay, now coming back to the value added for our preparation. What exactly the topic is talking about? Remember, we need to understand the UN mandate Paris principles related to the Human Rights Commission. So, this global alliance of national human rights institutions providing the accreditation in terms of human rights institutions and how the rigorous process and what exactly happening that review will be taken care of. Okay, so that is the exact context of this particular news. Now, we need to understand about this Global Alliance National Human Rights Institutions is a global network of national human rights institutions. It always coordinates the relationship between national human rights institutions and the United Nations human rights system. It is unique as only non-UN body. Remember, this is non-UN body who's used to have the internal accreditation system based on the compliance with 1993 Paris Principles, which was grant access to the United Nations committees as well. Right. So the Paris Principle was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in the year of 1993, which is requires a Human Rights Commission to protect the human rights, including receiving, investigating, and resolving the compliance. So also promote human rights through education, outreach, media, publications, training, and capacity buildings. So just go through this article and have a proper continuity of this particular issue, right? So these are all the major topics that we want to focus on today's the Hindi newspaper. And moving towards the next, it is about Press Information Bureau. What is the first one? Which is Udan 5.1, which is a regional connectivity scheme that is known as RCS. RCS Udan 5.1. Okay, RCS Udan 5.1 Uddesh Ka Aam Nagrik, the fifth round of regional connectivity scheme was imposed. This particular scheme was launched by Ministry of Civil Aviation, Regional Airport Development and Regional Connectivity, part of the National Civil Aviation Policy, which was launched in the year of 2016. The scheme is having a vision providing applicable connectivity for a period of 10 years. So now what exactly this Udan scheme? The scheme is about to provide air connectivity to remote and regional areas of India. That is one of the important objective of this Udan scheme. Development of remote areas and enhancing which activity? Trade and commerce activity. The trade and commerce activity and enable the common people to access air travel for the affordable price and employment creation in the aviation sector as well. So these are all the major areas, and the scheme was implemented in different phases as well. Phase 1 2017, phase 2 2018, phase 3 2018, phase 4 2019, likewise in different phases. Finally the 5.0 was executed well, and now the 5.1, right? So the achievement made here, it is about tier 2 and tier 3 cities at affordable airfares, and also transformed the way of traveling, right? So provide a fair amount of air connectivity to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Next is about fastest 5G rollout. So 2 lakh 5G site at Gangotri covering around 700 districts have been installed in 8 months, rolled out in all 28 states and 8 union territories now. Dedication of fiber connectivity to Chardhams. Chardhams means Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri and Yamunotri. You know about the 5G, Department of Telecommunications. Department of Telecommunication, the 5G services going to implement in all states of India. What is this 5G technology, which is known as fifth generation mobile network? Fifth generation mobile network. It is a new global wireless standard after 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G networks. It enables new kind of network that is designed to connect virtually everyone and everything together, including machines, objects, and devices. So, internet speed in the high band spectrum of 5G has been tested to be as high as 20 Gbps, that is gigabits per second, while in most cases the maximum internet data speed 4G has been recorded at 1 Gbps. Right, so you just understand the evolution from one first generation to the fifth generation, and India is also now focusing on to coming up with the sixth generation as well. Okay, next topic, it is about Airavat. Airavat is a supercomputer installed at CDAC Pune, has been ranked 75th in the world. It was declared so in 61st edition of top 500 global supercomputing list yesterday. Okay, the International Supercomputing Conference, which happened in Germany during that time period, the AI, Artificial Intelligence Supercomputer, Airabat. So it puts India on top of AI supercomputing nations worldwide. The system is installed under the National Program on Artificial Intelligence by Government of India. Okay, so Airavat, which is known as supercomputer. So 76th World Assembly heading Heal in India and Heal by India at happened in Geneva. You just know this information. 76th World Health Assembly held at Geneva. Next, INS Tarini. INS Tarini. It is a navy. It is an Indian Navy set to receive the receive the six-member crew of INS Tarini. It is another historic event in the maritime calendar of India because INS Tarini touched the Indian shores as entered Goa harbor and secured alongside the INS Mandovi jetty on successful completion of, remember this very important, 70,000 nautical miles trans-ocean intercontinental voyage after 188 days. So this INS Tarini is returning home after successfully completing 70,000 nautical miles. And the flagging event will showcase the exemplary valor that how the crew, because the crew have two women officers as well. They participated in the entire expedition in the sea voyage. Okay, so the two women officers undertook the voyage from Goa to Rio de Janeiro via Cape Town on back spanning over 188 days of sailing on the vessel. Right. So next one is about All India Radio. So it is related to the fastest supercomputer. Again, the same topic only. So, National Center for Medium Range Weather Forecasting in Noida, Uttar Pradesh, organized one event there. The Ministry of Earth Sciences, Kiran Rijiju, said that India will acquire the fastest computer worth 900 crore rupees. It's expected to start functioning next year of March 2024. That is the context. So, the new computer what they are going to build in the next year from 12 to 6 kilometers, because he added one information here, the Cray XC40, which is supercomputer Mihir, which is India's fastest supercomputer at present time. But if we come up with the newest one, it's going to be nearly thrice of the capability of the earlier one. Okay, so next one is about President inaugurated the new greenfield building of the High Court of Jharkhand and dedicated the largest court building of the country to the nation. So here the information is largest court building, that is High Court building in the country, which is Jharkhand. The feature of this High Court spread over 165 areas and new eco-friendly building of the High Court of Jharkhand has been equipped with energy saving systems. ISRO is going to launch GSLV F-12 navigation satellite on May 29 from Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. So the words, four important words of the day. The first one is fruition, which is known as the realization or fulfillment of a plan or any project that one individual used to do, or any group or community or country. Okay, fruition. Exuberant, which is known as full or energy or getting more excitement, and cheerfulness. Cheerfulness, excitement. We can keep it in remember, exuberant. Comply, which is an act in accordance with a wish or command, which is known as complying. Gloom means looking or feeling dejected or sad. These are all the four important vocabularies that you need to follow for the day. Right. So that's all for the day. Keep in touch. Stay tuned. See you tomorrow. Thank you.